the next Avengers movie, whatever it might be, is going to be more of an ensemble movie than any Avengers movie has been in the past. And what that means is that they are projecting 60 plus returning characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Many names were thrown out. Karen Gillan, one of them. Shout out Nebula, shout out Guardians. And it's going to be more centered around a giant group of heroes and less centered around our core Avengers and friends type situation. The way that Age of Ultron was for sure, Infinity War was for sure. Then Endgame, obviously, the circumstances of the story made it more so that plus Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
60 plus characters. It's so funny that sounds amazing, even though Infinity War gave us 30, and it was like that's so long ago, but man, does it still feel incredible that the who the hell are you guys scene happened and it worked, and it was
amazing.
just the greatest moment of my life. 60 plus characters on a true ensemble movie. David, your thoughts and feelings about an Avengers movie that's more like the comics than any Avengers movie has ever been.
I mean, it sounds like it's here's the thing, right? It could either be the best thing ever or the worst thing ever at the end of the day. Like 60 characters, that is a lot. And I do think, in terms of the report being like, it'll be more of an ensemble and less focused on a few of them. You've got to focus on a few of them because we have to specifically care about certain characters. Yeah. Like, who's doing what. And by the way, like that really, we have so much more to happen in the MCU before we get to a state where we can have 60 characters. It's like, where are all they? What's going on? We'll get there. But I do like the idea because at the end of the day, if anything, throughout phases 4 and 5, they've introduced new characters and more people and players with power. So you have to use them. You have to utilize them, and can't even imagine the scheduling conflicts coming up with filming this. But I am excited, and it does excite me the fact that they are going big with it. Even though I would love the idea of maybe a smaller Avengers film, maybe one day we'll get that again. But because of the state of the MCU and all of those characters that we have to play with, I think this move makes sense. And it makes sense also to try to utilize a lot of them in different ways where maybe if you didn't love a certain solo project led by that character, maybe in a secondary role, you'll enjoy them a little bit more, which has happened in the past too.
Yeah, I've been a big proponent, and for a long time, Phase 4 specifically, that the motive of Phase 4 was to introduce a handful of new characters. And I am so confident that the quality of the project, rather than be movie or series, the characters they introduced across the board are pretty great. Like even the Eternals, a interesting MCU entry, something I've never rewatched, by the way.
Me neither. I've only seen it the one time.
Probably my least watched MCU project, not on Disney Plus. Those characters I really did love. Like the characters were not the problem with Eternals. It was different things. So like there are so many great players on the board, and my thought is, why not use a few of the upcoming movies like they use Thor Ragnarok, like they use Guardians of the Galaxy, where you can pocket a few characters together? Why can't Doctor Strange 3 be a Midnight Suns movie too? Yeah. Why can't Young Avengers bring all those Young Avengers that we love together? And I think they have a great roster. It's just about dialing it in a little bit. As far as, how do you juggle it? How do you manage it? You go back to the Russo brothers and how they were able to do that in such a great way. Infinity War, in my opinion, the best MCU movie. Not my favorite, but the best. Yeah. What something that makes that movie so amazing every single time I rewatch it is you're watching, you're enjoying, and then you have a stray thought. Man, what's going on with Doctor Strange? Boom. Right when you have that thought, Doctor Strange pops up. Man, what's going on with Thor? Boom. As soon as you have that thought, he shows up. Like the way that they anticipated when we would be missing certain people, they come in right there. And, to find that balance is hard. But I think that, just given the right plot, as long as you can balance everybody right, you can group people together and make it work. And there's so many templates for it in the past. And when I say templates for it, not just good ones like Avengers, but also bad ones like the movie we're going to review today, X-Men Apocalypse. Too many characters, right. No direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that can really be fleshed out if done right. But It just depends on who is going to be. It feels more like it's going to be less 6 people leading the movie and more like 3 or 4 groups. Who's going to be leading each group? Like,
Exactly.
who's going to be with Sam Wilson? Who's going to be with Doctor Strange? Who's going to be with Shuri? Who's going to be with Kate Bishop? Like that kind of thing. And you know, if those 4 were leading the movie, I would be very, very happy because those are 4 really great characters that I think are ready to lead a movie.
Yeah. So I came up with this top 20 list of potential, I would say, fairly locks to come into Avengers 5. They said 60. And honestly, looking at it, I could even switch out some more. So I'm going to read these off 1 through 20. It's kind of in order in terms of like who I really think is going to be in there or just like prominent characters like for the Avengers team. Definitely not into their own individual teams on here, but kind of a tier list. So number 1, I have Sam Wilson, Captain America. That to me seems like just
it has to be.
There's no way.
He's so. Have you seen? He's so big, dude.
Yeah,
he's huge.
It's cool. It's cool getting this evolution in live action, like for Sam Wilson. It's awesome.
It's fun.
All right, now I'll fly through these. Number 2, Spider-Man. Number 3, Thor. Number 4, Loki. Number 5, Hulk. Number 6, Captain Marvel. 7, Doctor Strange. 8, Shang-Chi. 9, Star-Lord. 10, Wanda. 11, War Machine. 12, Ant-Man. 13, Hawkeye. 14, Hawkeye/Kate Bishop. 15, Black Panther. Shuri. 16, Miss Marvel. 17, Bucky Barnes. 18, Yelena. That was the Thunderbolts representation. 19, She-Hulk. And 20, Moon Knight, who I think were very set up in their Disney Plus shows and you would think would return in some form or fashion. Matt, what are your instant thoughts to my list? Maybe, you know, some characters you could see not appearing or maybe some that are off the list. I only wrote down 20 that you think will surely be in Avengers 5.
You said Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel was supposed to be on the list, but she's not on there. So that'd be number 21. Yeah, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, I think, for sure.
Yep.
War Machine, I can see being left off just because he's got Armor Wars ahead of him.
Yep.
And obviously that character has become a very interesting piece, given the whole scroll thing. Thinking, loving. Nebula.
Yeah.
Rocket.
Yeah, I know. I wonder, like, the Guardians
in general, yeah.
Yeah, because I put down Star-Lord because there was the whole, like, Guardians 3, Star-Lord will return.
Star-Lord
you imagine that's going to be...
you
imagine that's going to be an Avengers movie.
I'm not cutting his grass. He's a 40-year-old man. What am I going to do? Cut his grass while he's watching me? So,
by the way, 2 that I left off because it's like a weird spot, Deadpool and Wolverine. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Different Spider-Man. I don't know. Other multiverse things. Newer characters.
Hey. Yeah. I mean, the Fantastic Four in general. Right. Just
Fantastic
all of the
Four.
Fantastic Four. I don't think Blade's ever going to happen, so I'm going to leave them on the list.
I didn't put down any Eternals, any of them.
Yeah. Man, they're so set up to be there, though.
One, I bet Monica
Rambeau. She's got to show up. The X-Men in general.
You're right. It'll be interesting.